even needs expensive professional lighting when I can just use this bad boy? So this angle's great because you can see my messy unmade bed and my school clothes hanging up and my bag and stuff, but hey, that's not what this video is about, so you can ignore the background because I'm just switching it up. So it's Talisha, and today's video is quite different. You would have already read the title, so you know what it is. I'm also sitting in a spinny desk chair. Shout out to my sick boyfriend Kyle, sleeping in the background. So, I mean, I'm probably going to be really fidgety and spinning around a lot, but hey, that's because I'm like a child. So I've brushed on both of my horses' stories before and the way I got them, but I haven't really gone into heaps of detail. It's kind of like someone asked me on a live stream and I just kind of like rushed through it. We're now gonna go through with a lot of detail, and of course the horse I'm gonna start with is Jep because she's my first horse. I got her before Kai. I've owned her for coming up to 2 years in a few months, which is pretty exciting. Well, she's the horse that's taken me from 25cm round. Like, that's what I had done before Jep. I had done one show and it was a 25cm show jump around, to now jumping 1.15 m single jumps. She clears 80cm courses in show jumping and eventing. She kills it. And from taking me to someone who had never competed to now competing up to those heights, as well as that, we also compete in hack shows and dressage shows where she always brings home a ribbon. We've brought home titles at hack shows before. Like, she's taken me so far. I'm gonna start from the start, obviously. So as most of you guys know, I work part-time at a racehorse stud, and I started working there when I was about 15 years old, so I'm 17 now. And it was my first job. I'd never worked anywhere before, so I was really excited, and it's a lovely place to work. I still work there to this day. Part-time, obviously, because I still go to school. I have literally got like 4 more weeks left until I graduate. Like, anyway, that's not the story. So at this place I was a groom, which means I was doing stable jobs, tacking up horses. I occasionally got to lunge some horses, and like at that stage that's what all I was lucky to do, because this is when I just had started, and at this stage they hadn't put me on a racehorse. I hadn't actually ridden them yet. That happened like heaps later when I actually started properly exercising them. So my boss, who was the manager of the stud, on the side he had quite a lot of horses of his own. So I asked him once how many horses he owned, and he said he had no idea. So he's a polo cross player, and you know, he just had heaps of horses. He has 3 kids as well, so they all ride, his wife rides, like they all just have heaps of horses. And I was having a conversation to him once, and this was when I was still riding like the older horses that you see in my videos when I still rode those, so like Super Slinky and Milo, Donnie, etc. And you know, he asked me, he was like, oh, so do you have a horse, blah blah blah, and I was like, oh no, I don't have a horse, I just ride these horses, blah blah blah. And he's like, oh well, if you want, I have some horses that you can ride. So some of his horses are green and unbroken, some are schoolmasters, and some have like had 2 rides. Like, it's a big range of horses. And he's like, look, I have a pony that you can come ride. And I was like, yeah, okay. He's like, she's green, she's like young, blah blah blah. So I was like, yeah, that's fine, I'm happy to go ride her. So I went over and started riding her, and you guys would know her as Mango. This isn't Jep. You guys would have seen some old videos of me riding her, which I looked horrible in. It was just, had a saddle that didn't fit me, and my position was just a flop. But anyway, so she was, she had only had 2 rides on her before I started riding her, so I rode her for a while and helped train Mango and get her to a place where she could be sold to a young kid. So, because that's what he did. A lot of his horses he'd break in and sell, and he still does that to this day. So I was riding Mango for ages, and you know, she's quite little. She's probably about 12, 13 hands. And she was young, so she was still growing. Gorgeous little girl. She was a Brumby, and he had gotten her from the snowy mountains, caught her in the wild. So I had been riding her for about a month or so, And then my boss texted me and was like, hey, I've moved Mango to my other property because I've sprayed my paddock, so I've moved most of my horses back to my other property, which is about half an hour away. And where this property was that, you know, Mango was at before was like literally a minute drive. I could have walked there if I wanted to. I used to ride my bike to Mango. So I was like, oh, okay, that's all good. And he's like, but hey, I have another horse here that you can ride. She's been out of work for a couple months. She was my daughter's, but she was too much for my daughter, and my daughter can't really handle her, so you can ride her until Mango's back. And I was like, yeah, okay, sure. So that afternoon after school I came over. One of his daughters was there tacking up this other horse, and his wife was there. I was like, where's the horse I'm riding? I was like, I want to ride now, please. And then he brought Jep down. So as soon as I saw her, I was like, you are cute. You have an adorable face, because I have such a soft spot for like face bling, especially like a big white blaze. I was like, you're cute. And the first thing I noticed with her though is when they tied her up like it was under a tree, and she just wouldn't stand still. And it was just like, please, pony, just stand. And she just wanted to like move around and like fidget, and I was like, please stop. And I was like, oh, you're pretty cute. So anyway, I tacked her up, and him and his wife were staying out there and watching. And they were like, oh, we'll set up some jumps for you, blah blah blah. I was like, alright, cool. So first of all, I just started like walking and trotting her around. I was like, ooh, I like this. So I was trotting her around and stuff, and I was just getting a feel for her. And as soon as I started riding her, I was like, I like you, like, you're a good horse. And he put up some small jumps, like they probably would have been about 45 centimeters, if that. And I was like, oh, I'll pop her over some jumps. And there were also little gymnastics poles and stuff, the cavalettis. So I was popping her over those, and I was like, this horse jumps. I was like, what is this? And because I went from a horse, like Super, who did not enjoy jumping, and I just wanted him to. So I used to try to jump on him, and he just didn't enjoy it. Or like he'd jump and just like knock the jump down. And then a horse like Mango, who was like, tried everything she could to throw me off or get me off her back. And then there was Jep, and she was calm, and she was happily like jumping these little jumps. And as I got more and more confidence on her, I started going a bit faster over these jumps and like cantering around on her. And I was like, this pony is awesome, like. And my boss was like, oh no, I need to put those up for you, like you're doing them too easy. I was like, alright. So like they're little plastic blocks, and I think they go up to like 60 centimeters. We had a couple of refusals, but nothing, you know, bad. She was going so well, and she was pretty unfit though, so towards the end she just started refusing, because she was like, oh please, I haven't been ridden in months, what are you doing? And yeah, so after that ride I was like, this pony is legendary, like this is such a cool pony. And then he tells me, like after I get off Jep, he's like, she's for sale, by the way. I was like, ooh. And at this time I wasn't looking to buy a horse. I had no intention on buying a horse. I wasn't quite ready to, like, I didn't have the money to be able to buy a horse. I was like, oh, can I come back and ride her tomorrow? And he's like, oh, you know, someone's coming to see her tomorrow, but I'll have Mango back by tomorrow so you can ride Mango. And I was like, oh, damn, okay. I wanted to ride this pony. But, and I asked the price, which I'm not going to say because, guys, like, you don't need to know the price I paid for my horse, okay? But, like, I asked him a few questions about her and, like, learned a bit more about her. She was actually originally from Victoria, and my boss had bought her without seeing her. So he had gotten her, like, shipped over to New South Wales and didn't ride her, didn't look at her in person, and then, of course, when she got here and his daughter tried to ride her, they didn't go well. Apparently she just acted up for his daughter and just wouldn't do anything she was told, which I don't understand because I got on that horse and she did everything right. Anything I asked she did willingly. She was such a little try-hard of a pony. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And you know, I looked into her bloodlines and stuff because she's registered Australian riding pony, and she was bred for showing. Like her father and mother were like show horses and stuff, so that's why she obviously goes as well as in hacking as she does. And yeah, so I'd gone home and I was like, I just kept talking about her to my parents. I was like, this pony, like, she's amazing, she's so cool, like, I want her. And I went back the next day and I rode Mango, and lunged her around and stuff, and couldn't see Jep, and I was a little worried because I was like, oh, I hope she didn't sell. But I got a text from my boss that afternoon saying that she didn't sell, luckily, and I was like, oh, that's so good. And I talked it over to my parents, and I was like, I want her so bad. And I spoke to my auntie, and my auntie was like, oh, like, she sounds great. She came out to see Jep and watched me ride her once, and she was like, yeah, she's great. She's perfect for you. Like, it was such a perfect horse. I was lucky enough that my grandparents were able to give me the money and buy Jeopardy for me. So I'm forever thankful to my grandparents because she's a one-in-a-lifetime horse, and I'm so glad that I've gotten the privilege to ride and now own her. And she's just, honestly, she's taken me so far, and I can't ever get over how far she's taken me. I just couldn't believe that a horse could take me from not being a confident show jumper at all. I was not confident because I had not been on a horse that was actually a good show jumper and was not game to do the jumps. And from me who couldn't even get a horse to like work in a frame. So taking me from that kind of rider, so like pretty novice beginner rider kind of thing, and then now taking me to competing in, you know, novice up dressage tests and coming home with like scores in the like 70s and stuff. And then also, as I said, taking me over jumps I never thought I'd be able to jump. 1.15 meter show jumps and up to 1 meter cross country jumps. Obviously not rounds for both of those, but, and then the amount of hack shows we've done, she always comes home with like a bucket full of ribbons. Every hack show we have so many ribbons, and if not titles, that we bring home. And it's just, she's done so much for me, and I'm just so glad that I bought this horse. I remember, I think it was the first ride I had on her after I had bought her, and it was just not a good ride. And I'd gotten on her like expecting it to be good because she'd been good the last 2 rides, and then it was just, nothing went right. Like, it was just such a bad ride, and I like nearly got off in tears because I was like, what have I done? Like, I've bought this horse, it's just not going to be good for me. I was just so worried that I'd just spent all this money on a horse that I'm not going to want. And I was, after that ride, I was like really reconsidering like my choice, and I was like, why did I do this? And then I remember the very next ride I got on her, and I was like, yeah, like, I had to keep riding. I'd bought this horse, she was mine. And then the next ride she just completely changed, and I don't know, she just blew my mind again. And ever since then I've never looked back on owning her. So I had that one moment that I was like, I shouldn't have bought her, and it was literally the first ride after I bought her. But then ever since then I've never looked back. She's just taken me so far, she's taught me so much. She's a pony that's gonna be forever in my life. She's got her forever home. I'm never gonna sell her on. There's no way I could ever do that. She's just got such a special place in my heart, and just for what she's done for me, I'm forever grateful to her, and I need to give her the best home that she can get. So she's gonna live out her life with me, she's gonna retire with me, grow old with me, and pass away with me. She'll probably outlive me, honestly. But yeah, so I mean, that's Jep's story. I hope you enjoyed watching and listening to how I got my legendary pony and how grateful I am for her. God, I just blab on about it, don't I? But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and give it a thumbs up if you want to see Kai's video next week. I also have a very exciting vlog for you to post tomorrow. If you don't follow me on Instagram, here's a little hint. What other horses did I mention in this video? Horses, remember? Not horse. Horses. There's your hint. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for that very exciting vlog. I love you. Bye!